What's good, people? Come on in the building. We live here straight from Honduras. And we want you to come in. You know, we're gonna give it a couple of minutes so that people could come on in. I want you to come in and you can always ask your questions as well. And as you can see, we got our topic. Our topic is going up. You know, we're talking about buenos dias, and we're talking about whether is homosexuality natural in nature. And so we're gonna wait till a couple more people get in the building. This is a topic that seemed to pop up, and I was like, hold on a minute, they're missing a lot of stuff in there. They're just saying, hey, you know, this is natural and that's not. You know, I pretty much don't see it as something natural in nature. I just see it as someone's preference. You know, people are making it seem like, you know, this is natural, that ain't natural. It's more of a cause and the effect. So that's more what we see, and so we're gonna see a lot. We're gonna see a lot of people. I want all of y'all who have your preferences, you know, hold on for a minute. Just let me go ahead and finish my spiel, and then y'all could go ahead and attack me. And then you could go ahead and attack me. Let me finish what I have to say, and then you can go ahead and attack. So, like I said before, I said, you know, homosexuality seems to be a preference. Either, you know, you just prefer sexually, you prefer the same sex. And we know normally, you know, women are more naturally what you call lesbian, or, you know, or they prefer the same sex. That's something natural because at one time the woman had both genders. You know, and she still does. She has, the clitoris is nothing but a penis, right? And so she has both genders. So naturally, she's more tending to do that than what we are, you know, a mutation of her. Or you could say evolution evolved, but if we evolved, we would have had titties that work if we was evolving that way, right? So we was actually bred for a particular purpose, actually. And so before you want to understand this, you know, I'm looking at it from Phoenix's perspective, all right? And it should make some sense to us, right? So first you got to understand, you know, where the father of homosexuality began. You have to understand that, and you have to understand how genetics work and how your subconscious mind works. When you put that all together, it's all going to make sense, right? Because we leaving out other parts of it. So when you look at the history of homosexuality, you have to look at the culture that we live in. We in the Western world, so we inside the Western world's mind of how they think things should be, or what they have created, and we came up through that system. So we coming up in their mind, in their world, right? So, and that Western world goes back into the Romans and the Greeks. Now, when you understand the Roman and the Greeks civilization, their whole civilization was actually built around homosexuality. I mean, it was blatantly open. They raised kids for that shit in the whole nine, right? So as they, because of a lack of a stable molecule that they didn't have, a carbon molecule. So it's just like, you know, when you decide, hey, let me have sex with a sheep, a dog, or another man, or another person of my own sex, then that goes into more of lust and desire, right? Especially when it's a man on man, right? And so some people, they see, when you understand these cultures and you see how they promoted that system. I mean, don't believe me, go check it out, man. You know, there's a whole history on the Greeks and the Romans and how this was blatantly done. And so that goes into their subconscious mind as well. It goes into their genes as well. And them genes could play out years later, hundreds of years later, and those genes can be passed down. So when you have that type of society and what they pushed and what they enjoyed, right, and it is in their genes, right, in the Europeans' genes mostly, right, and then when it can skip many generations, and so you have these genes and the personalities coming back up through the same bloodline as well, And right now we all fucking mixed. We all mixed, right? So you had, you know, you had the Spaniards coming to the Central Americas, killing all the natives there and taking the women, right? And putting their genes in them, right? You had slavery and they came and put their genes in it, right? So you have a whole mix of genes, everybody mixing. At one time, we never did that. One time we stood in the same tribe because we wanted, it was more of trying to perfect our genes, right? But so in these worlds, when they came and they conquered and they mixed in their seed, their genes, so now we most likely we can't have their genes that want to come up in you as well, because we move into a sun cycle when everything's going to come to the forefront of what you put in here, right? So that's one aspect of it, right? Of why and what we are and why we're expressing that type of gene, where you see, you know, another man or a woman sees another woman, like, you know, I'm just attracted to that. And so does it have a high purpose? We'll get back into that later, right? Does that have a high purpose, or does it serve a high purpose, right? Normally and naturally in nature, you know, everything want to reproduce itself. Normally and naturally, everything want to reproduce itself because it's survival of the best, right? So normally, even in your body, right? Your body has 50 trillion cells reproducing itself, right? To keep harmony within that body so that body can function, right? Epigenetics. So I don't understand why people study epigenetics and they can't, and they want to say, you know, this is natural and that ain't, right? Or want to put that in that category of what's natural, and it have nothing to do with natural. Homosexual has to do with what you prefer, your preference, what you're attracted to, right? And so now that we living in this society and the society is glorifying sexuality, homosexuality, you could turn on your television, like I said before, and you see it blatantly, and that goes into your subconscious mind, right? So it goes into your subconscious mind and it's going into your genes, right? And so you could decide, you know, you can have, you know, a partner, and then because that was in your running in your mind, your subconscious mind, it'll come out in their gene. You writing the blueprint to your next life, right? Of what you put in your mind. So if we seen that subconsciously, you know, they put it blatantly on television. You just turn on television. Oh, let me see Power. Oh, let me see. They always got this the homosexual characters in there as well, and so that's just being put in your mind because we in the Western world, and the Western world, they you know, they like that, you know, and so that comes back into their genes, you know. We're in the time that's coming back. Everything repeats itself. So those genes are coming back, and those entities, right? You can call it entities, or that energy or spirit is coming back through those genes, and they could be expressed different. That's one part of it. A woman could be pregnant, right? And she could the child could formulate the gender already. Let's say is a male, and she could go through a stressful situation. Her man could leave her or whatever, and she's like, yo, how am I gonna do this? She's in a stressful situation. You know, once you stress, you pulling up adrenaline, and you sending, your cells don't even communicate, you know, when you're in a stressful environment. So she could be going through a whole stress. Yo, how am I pay this bill? This nigga just left me. Excuse me if I'm cursing, but that's how I speak. That's how I express myself. You know, he just left me for so-and-so, and how I'm gonna do this. And she could go through a whole bunch of trauma, a whole bunch of the negative energies, depression, and whatever, and that could change that child's DNA, the gene readout, right? So epigenetics, right? So if that vibration changes, then, and she's more emotional and she has all that feminine energy, and that child's already set as what gender it was going to be, and it's going to be a male, then that energy could go ahead and get wired in as well, and it'll come out more feminine than usual. That's one aspect. Your environment could be another. You know, they, you know, poisoning everybody with a whole bunch of shit. They put the hormones in our food, you know, so we can express that gender, right? Or we could be more feminine. They're trying to feminize most of us as well, especially when it comes down to repopulation. So it goes really deeper than what everybody expected to be. You know, it's like, you know, people, it wants to say this is natural, that's not natural, and everything is a cause and effect, is a condition that we was raised in, that certain genes are being played out. And since they study epigenetics, right, and then they know what in what to do and what not to do. So, you know, or what more they can do to express a certain gene. And right now you have what's called Agenda 21. But before I go into that, you have what Agenda 21 is. Agenda 21 is they trying to reduce the population, right, by 80%, the United Nations. And the United Nations are the 10 European countries, right? That's why they spoke of in Revelation. They had 10 horns. The beast came out of the water, 7 heads, 10 horns, right? The 10 horns is the 10 European countries that they get together, right? The Luciferians ran by the Rothschilds and all that stuff, right? And so they get together saying this is the more safe, you know, peaceful for the world. So they get all the countries together to control the world, right? And so so they push their agenda worldwide. It's just not just in the United States, you know, because they actually control the world, right? And so they control what you look at as well and what you put in your subconscious mind. They've been doing it for a long time already. That's that movie They Live, do with the shades, put on the shades and so forth, shit like that. So, you know, we start waking up, we're like, oh shit, we start seeing what's in our environment. So, but they're pushing in their agenda. Agenda 21, they have to reduce the population, right? Reduce the population. They're saying that we don't have enough food to feed the whole world at the rate that they reproduce. Oh, they cut me off.
Really?
Yeah. They're trying to reconnect. Tell Ivy to turn the Wi-Fi off. Yo, I don't know if y'all can see me, but yo, tú me miras. Aquí está desconectado. Yo estoy hablando. Okay, if y'all can hear me, put 1, hit 1. If you can hear me, press 1, hit 1, so I can see it come up. Sí, pero eso es después. Oh, okay. Yeah, so it looks like, you know, right here it says I'm disconnected, but it looked like I ain't. Right? Okay, so where was I? Ooh. Okay, cool. Yeah, because Agenda 21, you know, they have to reduce the population by 80% because they seen the growth rate, and many Europeans ain't reproducing at a high enough growth rate, so they have to even up the ball field, right? So, you know, they come up and they put us, they give you all type of contraceptives and shit like that, and also Agenda 21. If I decide, you know, they're gonna push anything that stops reproduction, right? So if they're not reproducing it, and most likely it's because of in the sun cycle, you're going to be losing a lot more salt. So it's very difficult for them to, or you're going to have UVA radiation, which is going to stop their growth rate. So they have to stop our growth rate, right? Because we just like, we bust a nut and you got 5 kids coming out. Right? And so they have to stop that. But anything that says, you know, that can stop our reproduction. So that means that if they pushing, you know, yes, it's natural, it's okay not to reproduce when your body reproduces 50 trillion cells, you know, that it takes to maintain your body in harmony. And reproduction is how your cell or yourself runs in harmony and works in harmony, right? And you're a cell, your whole body's a cell, or like my man says, self. Then how are you gonna say not reproducing yourself is natural? So you be like, yo, okay, hold on. Is it natural for your cells to reproduce itself? That's how, you know, that's why you eat the fruits. That's why you intake the 4 major elements. That's why you connect yourself to the earth in grounding so your cells can reproduce itself. And then you realize your whole body's a cell and we immune cells. So what you telling your immune cells not to reproduce itself? Because we ain't gonna reproduce it. We ain't gonna reproduce ourselves if we decide we want to be, you know, we decide we want to be gay. We're not gonna reproduce ourselves. And if you do reproduce yourself in your mind, you already have your sexual preference. So the child is going to come out with that preference anyway, right? So are we actually producing our next reality, as you would call it, right? Or perfecting our genes so we can become more balanced? Because right now we out of balance. We out of our minds right now. So what is it? If that's the message you're gonna push, then it's like what should we do then? If we're gonna be gay, we ain't reproducing ourselves. We helping Agenda 21. And if you push that, you know why they push it? Ain't because they gay themselves or that they really care. They push it because they want gay donations. So they say, oh, I wish I could be gay, or I want to be gay, or I wish I could. Not because they care about gay people. Because every time they talk about it and be like, yeah, they freaking PayPal box be like, boop, 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 boop. So they keep on saying it. That's the only reason why. Not if you're talking about epigenetics and you're talking about reproducing your cells and grounding yourself and eating the fruit because your cells got to reproduce so you could be at your optimal health. And you know that your whole body's a cell. You ain't going to be saying, oh, this is natural in nature. You're just going to come out and tell the truth and say, this is a preference. And if you just prefer, to have sex with the same, gender, then that falls into a desire and to a lust. It doesn't fall into, well, let me reproduce or let me perfect my gene so we can be balanced or reproduce or reproduction of what everything in nature does is reproduce itself.
Yes,
God reproduces itself. God only could reproduce God. And so you reproducing yourself, then what? You know what I mean? So, however, we talking about scientifically, we talking about genes and that fact. If you're talking about Bible studies, you ain't gonna understand what I'm talking about. If you understand the way genes work, or where your subconscious mind works, then you're gonna understand that. And then let me tell you one thing: if people are so into being their higher self, and you understand that the woman holds the mitochondrial DNA. Right? Let's talk real talk now. The women hold the mitochondrial DNA, the Akashic records, all the information in the universe, and you want to tap into that. You want to tap into your higher self. I mean, the males don't hold the mitochondrial DNA. So what exchanges are you going to make? What energy exchanges are you going to make when you want to tap into your higher self? Higher selves. And can you get that going into another the same gender? No, you won't get that effect. You'll get another effect. You'll be busting a nut, and that's the effect you be getting. You know what I'm saying? So it goes into that effect, and it even goes more deeper than that. And so when they really want to understand that they real selves, right? I don't know if you'll understand what I'm talking about. I might sound crazy to some of you people, right? You have lost your mind, Ibrahim. Yes, I have. I lost it and I found it. I lost your mind and I found mine. I don't know whether someone's born homosexual or not. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it's a preference. And I guess maybe you was born with the preference. From day one that you can remember, you just attracted to the same sex. And then, that's totally different. You have other people that they be living straight lives, and then later on they become, homosexual. Everything has to do with your genes, your genetics, what the hell they putting in your food, your subconscious mind, and how they can control your senses, or they overstimulate your senses. If you see that act over and over again, you're gonna think it's normal as well. And so that's all they do with us. And if you don't want to reproduce yourself, that's fine. That's your choice. It's your choice to be like, you know what? I don't even want to reproduce myself. I'm happy with the way I am, and that's fine. I'm just expressing myself on how Phoenix Rising sees it. All right? I ain't telling you how to be or what to be, and if it's okay, if it's not okay. I'm just giving you my expression of how I see the world from this perception.
Natural perception.
You know what I'm saying? So everything you could do with a man, you could do with a woman. Shit. Fuck. Yeah. Just if she got a long fucking clitoris, man, you be straight, right? But I don't know. That's what it is, and so we touched on a lot of bases. And one more thing, people. Is working. I'm up there.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, everybody ain't freaking human. Everybody ain't even natural. Now let me not go that far. Everybody ain't fucking human. You ain't going. If I say that, you're just gonna, And what I mean by that, be like, yo, Felix, what do you mean? Everybody you sleep with ain't fucking human. You feel me? I'm gonna explain it to you right now. Let's say there's a woman, RH negative, right? And you have positive blood, and then she's carrying your baby. She gets pregnant, she's carrying your baby, right? Now, her body will attack that baby like it's a virus. Her immune system is saying, we got something unnatural inside the body. Let's go kill it. So the doctor has to inject her with a Rogan shot, right? She has to give her antigens, so her immune system won't kill the baby, won't attack the baby. That is not natural. That's not natural. Her body saying, yo, we got something in this motherfucker that ain't supposed to be in here. Yo, get rid of that shit. So how you gonna say everybody's the same? If we was all the same, then that wouldn't have to take place. No doctor wouldn't have to give you no shot. But like I said, everybody ain't the same, and everybody ain't ready to hear that.
That's a fact.
All right? Nobody gets together no more on genetics. You ain't asking what blood type do you have. You ain't asking her, is there any mental illnesses in your family, because it comes up through the genes. It could play out in your child if you love yourself. If you love yourself, you can be like, yo, I'm gonna have a child with this motherfucker right here. Yo, I need to know your freaking history. Yo, was your mama had any issues? Or your daddy, your great grandmother? What blood type you got, huh? Oh, that's not compatible. We don't do that. You're running a club 9 out of 10 times, or in a bar, and you be like, "Oh, baby, what you drinking?" Oh, some Henny and Coca-Cola, right? And be like, "Yo, I got the weed. You got the Henny. I got the weed."
That's a fact.
And then you hit your whole nervous system with a bunch of depressants and all types of ecstasy. Oh yeah, let me get some X. Oh, I got 2. Let me take 2, right? And so you on a whole different vibration while you having these children. Then when your children come out with all these mental illnesses, you want to wonder what happened. You don't understand that you programming that child 3 months prior to conception. Whatever, you are the writer of the DNA. You're listening to Dr. Lipton. Dr. Lipton. Oh, you have your DNA, and that's all it is. It can't be. It just reproduces itself. It can't. There's nothing you can do about it. Oh hell, you the writer of that shit. You're supposed to be writing that shit prior to conception. 3 months, whatever you put in your mind, you actually drawing up the DNA for your next reality. Unless you want to come back here deformed and mentally ill, because your energy will come back to or go back to the vibration it's vibrating on, like electromagnetically. Whoop. You feel what I'm saying? Can you feel me? Does that make sense?
Not look it up.
Don't believe me? Go check out your genes. Go check out, you know, how that works. These other people, they just give you half stories. They just telling you a little bit of good shit. And they give you some misinformation. They give you a little bit of truth, and then they put some lies in it, just so to stay popular, so they can keep getting donations while we fall for their trick. So you telling the whole world, yeah, go ahead and run into your own man. Don't reproduce yourself. That's the message you want to send?
Wow.
Shit. Come on, man. We ain't falling for that. And then they're gonna give you then they're gonna try to give you freaking the Greeks version of astrology, when astrology is freaking element chart. It used to be circular and they squared it off. So you won't know the noble gases that you need. The noble gases are the stabilizing gases. They stable. They don't want you to be stable. They want you to be unstable. So you're not looking to mix in with other elements. They just tell you, you know what, when you was born, oh, that's cool, you're compatible. Is that a true? Go look it up. And so that's why we're in the condition that we have. That's why we're in the mental condition that we are, because we just having sex with anything. Just because he got a fat ass. Oh, he got, look at all the muscles coming out his neck. Ooh, baby. You know, and next thing you know, boom, they child come out all fucked up in the head. They be like, I don't know what happened. Maybe you dropped him. Maybe you dropped him a few times. And then that's our fault. But now that those days are over, we got the information now. You know, if you really love yourself, then you're going to be like, oh, shoot, you know what? Shit. Now you're going to look into people's genes now. Now you're going to be like, what blood type if you look at blood types, people's, right, you find out that most melanated beings are O positive. Most Caucasians are, most Europeans are A positive, RH negative. That's a rare one. And AB is like Orient, Chinese. Just look it up. It's in Google, people. You can look that up. And so you can see these energies. People do their astrological chart, and then they don't include the blood type, because when that was done thousands of years ago, right? And it was done most likely with a certain blood type, because they kept their bloodline. They kept the bloodline pure, because they wanted to know what type of energy that they was going to be born. Like if they had a child, they want to know the characteristic and personality of that child, so it could be a balanced human. So we don't have to be walking around crazies like we are right now, cutting down trees and throwing out billions of pounds of freaking plastic into the ocean, and then go eat fish and shit after the fish is toxic with all the shit you're putting in it. And then, you know, cows and all this shit, and eating millions of billions. McDonald's said they had a billion served. You know how many cows is that, just McDonald's? You really think you're eating cows, people? You know how long it takes a cow to grow? And you know how much animal the world eats? And you really think there's enough cows to feed you? Man, we gotta wake up. We gotta wake the hell up. So if you got your question, you could throw it in. Most likely I missed some stuff I wanted to tell you. Agenda 21 is very real. They definitely trying to get rid of 80% of the population, and if you're not reproducing yourself, then you helping them. You helping the Illuminati, or which used to be the League of Nations, and it changed into the United Nations. And that's their agenda. Agenda 21, the United Nations, they got together on how we're gonna reduce your motherfuckers. They already know where the niggas live. They live in the projects. They all live together. Hit them bodegas in the closest supermarkets with all the poison you can. Give them all the fucked up food. They put in liquor stores in every corner and shit, along with a church right next to it. You got liquor store, church, liquor store, church, liquor store. You know what I'm saying? They got us all fucked up. And so, shoot, it's very real. And right now, melanin is costing over $400 a gram for melanin, and that's going to be needed in the sun cycle. Melanin is going to be needed. The Earth is rotating closer to the sun. This is what's called a sun cycle. Look it up, right? That means you got more UV A radiation up in the northern hemisphere, and UVB is what you need. You find that more toward the tropics, and so everybody's trying to, some people aren't aware we're in certain conditions that doesn't allow us to move, and so we out here giving some information out. So for those that are ready to move, we do a Harriet Tubman type deal. You know what I'm saying? And so we put our heads together and see what we can do by getting closer to the sun, because the sun is going to be your protection. You don't have to fight. You don't have to fight them. You up in the western hemisphere and up in the north, you don't have to fight them. You just got to get the fuck out their way, because they're going to self-destruct. So we're supposed to prepare ourselves, connect, unite, prepare ourselves, and get out their way.
Right.
So that some of us are headed that. Some others like, yo, fuck that shit, man. I'm good. I got a loan. I got a school loan I got to pay back. Like, yeah, school loan I got to pay back. I got mortgage I got to pay back, and so we get trapped in their system. But it's just gonna take a little bit to realize what that system is. And so, if you love yourself, if you're reproducing yourself, then you're gonna try to figure a way out. If you don't care, because some of us don't care because you don't got the emotion. It's a reptilian gene where emotion is just nil. Motherfuckers don't give a fuck. That's why they be cutting down trees. That's why they be just putting poison all over the earth, and they doing a whole bunch of shit. And so it's just they don't have that feeling. They don't have that soul. Yeah, I don't. Some people are gay. You're gay, man. Be happy who you are in your own skin, man. So you are what you are right now. So just be happy with yourself, man. I had nothing against your preference. We just talking about what the cause and effect of us in our having our preferences and so forth. How genetically, there's certain things that happen that we put into our subconscious mind or into our genes by our senses. What you see, what you hear, what you taste. So that's what you're putting into your senses, and then that goes into your subconscious mind, and then your subconscious mind, they're just going to make that happen or bring that into your reality. And so, and if not, it put it through your genes. So this is what it is, man. I had to get that out because I saw, dude, going in saying this was natural and that. Yeah, GMO and all that other stuff and the hormones they're putting into foods and stuff like that. That's very real. That can affect your gene play out or what genes are going to be read. And so everything is based on your gene play out and what's put into it. That's science right there. So people didn't really go in on that. They didn't really touch on that. And I didn't want to see the gay community get abused by these fake conscious leaders out there just so you can send them some donation because they cater to your feelings, which they're very good at. If I was, I wish I want to be gay. I wish I was gay. Then the conscious, then the community, the gay community, be like, oh, he's confused. I was like that, and then the next, you know what? I'm gonna send him some. I'm gonna put some donations into his pot. And that's right. That motherfucker ain't gay. He probably was a prostitute, a nut box, and didn't like it. But and so if you've been around that, then you already know they you know, the how they feel and what's in about them. ¿Cómo está? And so you cater to that so you can get some man, people can see you, man. That shit ain't, you know, everybody ain't fucking blind. And we better than that. What I'm saying, we better than that. You don't have to stoop down that low. You don't have to stoop down that low. And mind you, if I could figure this shit out, and I'm just a farmer, I just plant coconuts and orange trees and plantains and stuff like that. And if I could figure that shit out, shit. Imagine if I was it's time to go, peoples. I hope we enlighten each other. I have nothing against the gay community. I just want to express, you know, the view of how I see it and put some science to it, and maybe we can understand ourselves a little better. And but you know, at the end of the day, you make your own choices. You know, ain't nobody really, because you know, and it doesn't mean you're a bad person because you have your sexual preference. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that's what we are, because we came up in the Western world, in their society, we came up in their mind. And we really don't understand how what we see affects how our children's going to be, or how they're going to come out, or what gene play out is going to play out. And that has a big effect on our children and what they come out to be. And you love yourself, you know, then you'd be like, hey, I like to perfect my gene, because you're going to come back to your genes anyways. So I like to say thank you guys for tuning in. I got some more information economically, where we can better ourselves if we want to get out their way. Because if you're in their way, you know, they don't care. They don't care if you're black, white, straight, you know, gay. These people they got another mind, man. They you know, they on something else. Them the Rothschilds, and you know, they hemophiliacs, right? And they're on a whole different mission, man. They don't give a shit about race. They don't give a shit about. They just want power and control. So they don't really give a shit about, you know. They'll fund you though if you push their agenda. If you know, we like, yo, we need these niggas to stop reproducing. You know, tell them all to be gay. You know, and we'll stop reproducing. It'll slow them down a little bit, and they'll give money out to that. Oh, that's what. Okay, yeah, they'll put donation in your pot, as long as you push that shit. So, it is what it is. Peace out.
Ace. How you like them apples, Nigga?